benefit from putting people in jail? How can you make money out of people being incarcerated? So the issue of prisoners is very close to my heart. We need to do something about prisons, and we need to do something for prisoners any way we can. The Mandela Institute. This is a human rights organization that I helped found in Palestine. And we were inspired by Mandela even before he was released, while he was still in jail. The idea is, of course, that fighting for freedom is a universal, international principle that should apply to everybody. And in Palestine, we have a very, very high rate of incarceration. I think somebody once mentioned that probably one out of every 2 or 3 Palestinian males at one time or another has been in prison. So we set up this organization, Mandela Institute for Political Prisoners, to help advocate for Palestinian prisoners and to help them after they leave jail to adjust to living in society. And it's really interesting because in Palestine, unlike perhaps most of the world, when you're in jail, it's not because you're a criminal. It's because the system is against you. Because the laws themselves are unjust. Because you're fighting for your freedom. So you find the best elements of society end up in jail, not the worst elements. And somebody who leaves jail is not looked down as a criminal. In fact, he is honored because he has been in jail fighting for his freedom. So we have a different situation in Palestine, perhaps, than exists in the rest of the world. I mean, even in the United States today, the situation of prisons is really terrible. And prisoners, particularly if they're children, they really shouldn't be in prison. But probably in the United States, even those who run police departments will tell you, 9 out of 10 people in jail today don't belong there. They belong outside the society. Maybe they need treatment because they are on drugs. Maybe they need jobs and a better situation. Maybe there's something wrong with the very system that benefits from putting people in jail. I mean, can you imagine when I tell people in the rest of the world that in the United States you actually have corporations who are traded on the stock exchange, who benefit from running prisons, they are amazed. How can you benefit from putting people in jail? How can you make money out of people being incarcerated? So the issue of prisoners is very close to my heart. We need to do something about prisons, and we need to do something for prisoners any way we can. I think it's a great blessing. It's a wonderful thing to have people who are related to you by blood, who are also share your values. Both our families have taught us to have great faith, but also to be of service to others. They did not teach us that you need to make a lot of money. And we have close family ties. We enjoy each other's company, and when we get together, we eat good food, and we have lots of stories to tell, and we enjoy each other's company, and we support one another as a family, but we never feel that we are better than others, or that people who are not part of our family are less. No, the whole human family, the whole world is our family, and we have to be of help to others as well. They told us you need to do good and do right and do the right thing and be of service to others. So I'm very pleased, I'm very grateful that we had families that gave us, inculcated in us those values, and we try to do the same to our children. To be of service to others, to do the right thing is far more important than to earn a lot of money and to be very famous or rich or successful. Success is to help others. Yeah, I think for me too, there's no question that my religious upbringing and faith has had a lot to do with my work for human rights and for justice. And I do not want to discount that. What I do want to de-emphasize is the kind of religious particularism. I'm a Christian, but I don't feel, and I'm sure my faith as a Christian guides me to do what I'm doing, but I don't do it only for Christians. I'm open to everybody else. I don't think that Christianity is the only way to please God. I have no problem with Muslims, I have no problem with Jews or Buddhists, I have no problem even with those who don't have a religious faith. So it's an interesting balance. Even Jesus himself says, my kingdom is not of this world. He says, he asked us to follow him, but he never said that you should oppose those who are doing something else. There is a story where his disciples came to him, and he says, we met somebody who was baptizing and preaching, but he didn't follow you, and we stopped him. He said, no, why did you stop him? Let him go. It is good. Because if he's doing the right thing, if he's teaching people to love one another and to do good, then he's doing the right thing. He doesn't have to carry the cross and name themselves after me. So this concept that you can be a religious person and really deeply believe in your faith, but not disparage the faith of other people and not require other people to believe the way you do, I think is very central to me. That you can believe in universal values. You believe in human rights because you think that God put in each person something that's valuable and sacred. That you can believe that as a Christian without requiring that other people believe in God or believe in Christianity or follow your beliefs. So to have a universal system of beliefs while you have your own faith, this is the challenge, I think, for people who believe in human rights. They are universal human rights, but they are not religious in nature. For me, it's clearly my faith in God, that God is ultimately sovereign and in control of this universe. That even though things look very bad at the moment, ultimately God is in charge, and justice will definitely prevail. People talk about, Martin Luther King said, the arc of justice is long, but the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. Ultimately, I have faith, and that gives me hope. I may not be very optimistic about the current situation, particularly in Palestine, but I'm still full of hope that ultimately there will be justice. Ultimately, people will be free. Ultimately, apartheid will be destroyed, and oppression will cease, and injustice will end, and people will be free, and equality is a value that will ultimately prevail. This is an issue of hope that fills me even when things don't look good at the moment. I'm a human rights activist because I believe it is the right thing to do, and because I believe ultimately it is the best thing to do, even for my enemies. Ultimately, it is the best for everyone. stories to tell, and I appreciate Mubarak because he's always full of new ideas. He thinks outside the box, and he's not afraid to challenge authority, and he's not afraid to start a new program. And I feel for him when he says about fundraising, because we were really taught, grew up, not to make money, and to think almost it's, we feel uncomfortable asking for money, even for ourselves. But these programs are very important, and we also don't like to boast. This is what we did, this is what we did, this is what we did. But sometimes you have to do some self-promotion to get the funding to keep the program running. So this is one of the challenges that always comes to us. I am pleased, you mentioned that I worked at Wall Street. I am pleased that I was a lawyer and could earn money, and therefore could do all the human rights work on the side without having to earn money doing it. But that is not a sustainable model. Sometimes you need to raise money to keep a program like Nonviolence International running, and to do the good work that needs to be done. Thank God for those who make money and who support the important work that Mubarak and Nonviolence International does. But if you want stories, we have stories galore. This is it's an extremely rewarding work that Nonviolence International has done and continues to do. And sometimes you can't even say, you can't even talk about it, because some programs of Nonviolence International are in sensitive areas where those who work with us can be in danger if we tell the work that we do. But it's very important work, and we do it because we believe in it. It comes out of our